Okay, so the first thing I wanted to introduce you to is our cubbies. We brought these out, gotta be a couple of years ago, and basically this is the biggest kit that we do. This is the Cubbies starter kit, and it's lovely to see a picture on the front, but of course when you actually get the pack you look at it and you think, I don't know what to do with that, and you get out all the bits and you look at it again, then you put it back in the packet and it never comes out again, which is kind of a shame because you've bought the kit. So I want to actually go through the elements of these. I'm not necessarily going to decorate any because I'll show you some samples, but I'll show you how they go together and the concept behind them, so you have a better idea of what you can do with them. This one is the biggest kit that we do. This gives you one each of the large, medium and small. You actually get 6 cubbies, so you get one plain of each and one with an aperture of each. I'll explain all that as we go along. Basically you can use them, mix and match them together to create little scenes and things with them. So what I'll do is in fact I can actually open this packet and really seal it again afterwards. That's fine. I have to be very careful I don't upset the main man here. So let me just get, this is what you get in this kit. We do smaller ones, so you might get one of each, or just large, medium or small. But in fairness, I would recommend this one because you've got the most scope with it. And looking at this price, I think it's only £6.49. Check it on the website though first, because sometimes our prices don't match up with our labels. So do check it. And you get these little packets. So you have 2 large, you have 2 medium, and you have 2 small. Okay, and the way we use these is they create little boxes. So let me move those to one side. I'll get this one out first. This is one of the large ones. You may have these little bits in here that they just pop out. That's just where they haven't fallen out in the cutting process, but you don't need them, so you can just push those out like that. And you should have in your packet, let's just get rid of those bits, you should have one plain, this is the plain one, you've got one with aperture which I'll show you. You should have one plain piece, you should have 2 longer pieces like that with slots in, and 2 shorter pieces, and these all go together. Okay, hi everybody joining, hi Rianne, hi Sandra. So what you do with these is you can obviously decorate them however you like, and then you put them together, and the concept behind them is you can either have a deep cubby or you can have a shallow cubby. So if I just show you, if I put that, slot that in there and that in there like that, she says, that's it. I'm hoping you can see that this side is deeper than this side. Okay, so when you put the whole thing together, let's just pop that in there like that, and then I'll flip that over, and then that goes in there like that. Okay, that's it. You can see that on this side you've got a shallow cubby, okay, and then if you flip it over you've got a deep cubby. Okay, so the good thing about it is that if you've got embellishments that are quite thick and quite deep, you can use it in the deep side of the cubby, or if you've got narrower ones you can use it in the shallow side of the cubby. And as you make up all your different cubbies, the different sizes. Let me just get this one out. Oh, hi Liz, good to see you, my love. So we get this one out, and this is a small cubby, and the name comes from cubby hole, basically. They're like little cubby holes where you can just stash little things away, but they're spelt with an E because I think the word cubby with a Y, just a Y, is oh, let's just try that on there. Is, oh, there's my phone going off. I forgot to turn that down. Isn't that typical? Because the word cubby with just a Y, I think, is already quite used everywhere, and I didn't want to get into any trouble with copyright and stuff, so we put an E in it just to be safe. Right, so that pops in there like that. I'll pop that one back on. It's much better if you glue these as you go, because then you're not fiddling around with 3 or 4 bits. So this has got the same thing. You've got a shallow cubby and you've got a deep cubby, but when you join them together, you might decide that you want to put that one with the shallow side and that one with the deep side. Okay, so you build up a scene and you can mix and match them around. On top of that, as another additional feature, we do these ones with the apertures. So let me get that one out. Aperture meaning it's got a hole in it. Let me get this one out. Like that. I'll just pop these bits out again. And while I think about it, I better just turn my phone down because it's already made a noise. We don't want it to do that again while I'm talking to you. That's better. Sorry about that. So this is one that comes with an aperture, and basically that's your base piece, but this time you've got a hole cut in it. Concept is the same. They go together just the same way, like that. They are quite obvious how they go together. You don't have to think about it too much. It's a bit fiddly because I'm not gluing it. That's that. So as you can see, that's the same concept. So you've still got your shallow and you've got your deep side. This time you've got a hole in it. Now there's lots of things you can do with that. You can put in a piece of coloured acetate or something like that. There's no reason why you can't set a light in behind so you get the light coming through. So you can have a scene with some with lights, some without. You can purchase these in packs on their own, so you could buy ones with all apertures if you wanted to. We also do these little acrylic pieces. So let me just take that out. Tony does them up so well, I can't actually find the beginning. That's it. And then you have in here, you have one of each size. So that one would fit in your large, that would fit in your medium, and then this will fit in your small. Now you have a plastic coating on each side of these, which will just peel off. You just need a little knife or a decent fingernail and you can lift up the protective covering, and it is clear acrylic underneath, and then that will fit in there. And of course, because you've got a ledge, you can just glue it in with normal glue and you won't see it because it's sitting on the ledge. Okay, so if you always glue it in the bit behind, then you won't notice anything. So that's how that goes. And as you can see, you can put these together like this, however like you like shallow, deep, shallow, whatever you want. I'll get the mediums. That's the large, actually. Let me find a medium one. I'll get a medium one with a aperture. Let me open that one. Like that. So I'll just pop these bits out again. Now, a couple of things just to note about these. With our grey board, you can run it through an embossing folder. However, I wouldn't suggest you do that with these, only because it can distort the tabs, so it doesn't go together quite so well. But there's nothing wrong with you embossing a piece of card and slotting it in. You just cut that to size, so you can still, or you can cut card to fit around the outside and emboss it. There's nothing wrong with that either. Right, let me just pop this one in like that, like that. Always fiddly when you're on the camera. There you go. I nearly said TV then. I'm not on the TV. Right, that pops in the top there like that. So again, that's another one with an aperture, and as you can see, this acrylic piece will fit in there like that. Okay, and again, you can mix and match. So you could put that like that. You're going to get 6 in your starter kit, so you can put them around however you like. That one, for instance, we could take that out of there and we could pop that in there. You see that fits in there quite nicely because they are half the width of your large one. So you can create quite nice different shapes however you want them to go. Okay, and basically all you need to do once they're all glued together, you just put glue on the edges to actually stick them together to make them one big solid unit, and they are pretty solid as well. They're pretty good. So that's the concept of the Cubbeys and how they how easy they are to put together, and the accessories as in these that you can buy. You would just fill them with different embellishments, whatever you like, depending on how deep they are. Now I'm going to show you some samples of what you can actually do with them. So I'll move that out the way. Let me just move that to one side. Now first of all, let me get... Now this one was done by our wonderful Nikki. Okay. So she's used... So you've got 2 small, 2 medium, 2 large, and there's one of each with the apertures in. And as you can see here, what she's done is before she's put it all together, she's stamped and embossed. You can do all your different techniques that you want to do. She's used the acrylic, and she's done some really cool stuff with the acrylic. You see, this is how it looks on the back. But you can do some really cool techniques with acrylic. And this has got one of our cogs, one of our hearts. And she's just done a different little thing in each, and I think it looks fabulous. And it is literally just all glued together, and it is really lovely and firm once it's all glued. So that's one of the samples. And then another sample is one that I did. These poor samples have been a bit battered because they've been to shows and God knows what else, so if you're just standing them up in the corner, they'll last a long time. But because we carry the samples about, or we used to when we were allowed to go to shows, and we used to go to mixology and other things, it's obviously left them all a bit battered. Now you can see here I've used some deeper embellishments. So this is one of our mini house trios. We've got little butterflies and flowers in there. You can mount little embellishments a little bit further up, even though you're using the deep side. We've got little leaves and flowers there, and this time that on the back there, that is a bit of kind of thick polyester type plastic, and I've run that through an embossing folder, and that's given that really lovely embossed feel. I don't know actually how well you can see that. I'll try and put it a bit closer to the camera if I can see which side it is. I don't know if you can see there the detail of the embossing. I'll just let it catch up. Oh, I'm a little bit behind, so I won't leave you sitting there too long. And then you'll also be able to see that I've used a lot of the aged and glittery embossing enamels that we do. We've got some left. They were Stampendos ones, but you can get all sorts of different embossing enamels and things that you can use. This is paste that's been run through one of our deep acrylic. No, it's not even through one of the acrylic stencils. That's just a normal stencil, I believe, and it's just been run through. And then on top, to raise it even more, it's got the embossing enamel put on it just to give that a little bit more. So you can really go to town on these. And then the last sample that I've got that I could find, because I've got boxes and boxes of samples. This one was made by Dee Adams, who's also on our design team. Dee does this wonderful colour scheme. She has lots of crackle and things like that, and her work always looks very rustic and aged and that kind of thing. Now what she's done here is this element here, I believe, is a mould. So it'd be a plaster mould or whatever of a wing. This looks like it's another mould that she's used. She's used a heart there, which she's put lots of crackle on. Let me try and move that a bit closer so you can see that as well. And you can see in the background she's put all this crackle effect. In this one here, she's looks like she's embossed some paper and torn it and that kind of thing. So you can see how much you can actually do, and none of these have got apertures. Oh, in fact that one has, because it was probably what was sent to her, but she's covered them up. But you don't need to use them. You don't need to use the apertures. They can actually look amazing just like this. So as you can see, I think these look fabulous. You could buy as many packs as you like, and you can create an enormous sort of display if you wanted to, because they would all sort of join up and mix and match together like that, as you can see. So that's basically what the Cubbies are all about. I hope that's told you a little bit more. This hasn't been an amazingly long live, but at the end of the day it is just showing you what you can do with these. We have got the various different types available in the shop, so hopefully I've inspired you, and it's a great way to use up some of your smaller embellishments and things like that. Sorry Angela, was I where I shouldn't have been? Do you know, sometimes I wonder, because I set up an event, I wonder whether I should do the live in the event, but then I think people will go to Tando's Creative Zone. It's a difficult one, it really is. I'm going to do all the lives in Tando's Creative Zone, never in the event, if that's any help to you. Yeah, so as you can see, all the different ways that you can use these with your Tando minis, with your plaster moulds, with your other embellishments that you would buy. And I personally think they look brilliant, especially those two, because the girls did those, I did that one. So yeah, I think that's about it. I just wanted to show you all of these. I'm going to keep this live in the group, and I'm also going to convert it and put it on our YouTube channel, so it will be easy to find. I'll label it up Cubbies, so You're going to have to dig the rest of yours out, Jan. I know. The funny thing is, once you start them, they're actually a little bit, they're a little bit addictive. Yes, Celia, you could make a giant printer tray type thing. Oh, Krista, that's brilliant. I decorated mine on both sides to display them on open side shelves. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Again, another way of using them. So, yes, as I was saying, I will convert this into a YouTube video. I'll pop it in our YouTube channel, so it'll always be easy for you to find. And I think also if you go into albums in Tando's Creative Zone, you can find this live in there as well, so you'll be able to find it easily if you want to come back and reference it. We're going to be doing these lives every 2 weeks on a Tuesday. They're not necessarily going to be showing you how to decorate stuff, but they are showing you how to use kits and things. The next one I think I've got scheduled in, is for the steampunk goggles. I don't know if you are aware of the steampunk goggles that we did. I will show you how to put those together, and I've got at least one sample, I think, buried in all the samples. I might even try and do another one in between that time. Going forward, some of the design team have said that they'd like to do one of these lives as well. Didn't you, Jan? I'm going to make sure that you're not going to be able to duck out of it now. And so I think has Fiona, Heidi, a couple of others I think have also, Celia I think said that she would do one. So you're going to have a nice mix of people. You're not going to just hear me drolling on all the time. You'll have a nice mix of people just showing you some stuff, and it'll be scheduled for every other Tuesday. Okay, that's in addition to all the other things that we're doing, but these ones are little freebies that we're doing for you rather than a subscription or paid for base. That's about it, guys, I think. Really glad that you could join me. Lovely to see so many of you popping in on a Tuesday afternoon. It's really good. Hope you're not too hot out there. And I think that's it for now. I can't think what's coming up next. I think we've got another mini book club live happening in a week or two. I think it might be a week tomorrow if you're in the mini book subscription club. If you're not, you should be, because it's good fun. And that's it. So take care, everybody, and thanks for joining me, and see you all again soon.